All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by singer Maren Morris. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. And you smell amazing. I said it to you when you walked in, and now I just need to let everybody know that you smell amazing.
Thank you. I have an obsession with fragrance.
Me too.
Fragrance TikTok. I'll spend hours on there.
I'm the same way.
Too much money.
No, same. I just changed my scent.
I've been here. You just posted a video on TikTok about your fragrance.
What did you change it to?
Kayali is the brand.
Yeah, which one?
Love Fest Burning Cherry mixed with Vanilla 28 together.
Ooh.
She's mixing.
I'm a big layer. That's how
custom.
deep. Yeah, that's how deep I'm into the fragrance game. I'm now layering the scents.
That's good though. I love it.
It's important.
Yeah, it's unique to you.
Yeah, and also it's great when someone tells you you smell great, which you do.
It's the highest compliment. Thank you.
For sure.
I know, it definitely does feel that way. We were just chatting before. I was just saying I saw you at the Brooklyn Steel, and it was one of my it's one of my favorite venues. And we were saying there's so many great venues in New York. Do you have a favorite New York venue or somewhere you played that you're like? I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's been a few. I think, obviously Radio City feels so special. It's like built for sound, so no one can sound bad there. And it's just beautiful. Like it just goes up and up. Like every tier, it feels like a layer cake or something that we get to look at. It's nice when you play a venue that's beautiful, because you're watching our show and the production and the lights. But when we get to look at something that's beautiful on stage, I feel like Radio City and obviously Red Rocks gives that vibe where we get a show as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brooklyn Steel is really cool. I would do a couple nights there even now, just because I was saying I love a not grimy. I don't want to insult the venue, but I love a club.
Yeah. And it has that feel, because it's also you can get from the name alone, it's like a old warehouse, so it has
industrial,
that very industrial
dive bar feel.
That's my vibe.
Very industrial.
Yeah,
exactly.
It reminds me of my upbringing of playing clubs as a teenager and just starting there. So I fuck with it.
Yeah. And it's just and sometimes that intimate feel when you're actually, for a fan, you're like, oh my God, they're actually right there. You're not all the way on the 300 level. She looks like an ant.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And Brooklyn is just a cool vibe in general.
Yeah, we felt way cooler than we were when we played there. But yeah, I agree. I like seeing intimate venue artists or artists in intimate venues, because if there's a barricade in front of the pit, and I already feel so far from fans, because it's 10 feet away. I like being able to touch people's hands and have a moment and cry. But
really interact with the people coming to your shows.
Yeah.
Do you have do you just have a favorite state to go to and play?
I love touring in the Pacific Northwest, because in the summertime, obviously it's gorgeous. We played this amphitheater in Bend, Oregon. That's really beautiful. And
that sounds beautiful.
Yeah. Anytime we're in Seattle or Portland, I mean, it's just, it's stunning up there.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone's high.
Everyone's just vibing.
Everyone's having a good time.
Everyone's brought their dogs. It just feels like a vibe. Right. Everyone's in a good mood.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we were just kind of coming out of the summer period where I feel like that whole outdoor venue festival vibe is so popular and everyone loves going to those shows. Are those types of shows just as fun for you to play as they are for us to go to?
I mean, I like being in the elements.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to deal with the weather. Sometimes we've had shows canceled because of just crazy storms. But I think I'm an amphitheater girl for life. If it's not going to be a club, I love being outside, under the stars. Some of my favorite shows I've seen growing up is at our Dallas amphitheater. I remember seeing John Mayer there, and during the Continuum tour, and we were just on the grass. Didn't have great seats, but I kind of prefer the lawn.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Continuum tour, outside sounds like a life-changing
It's
experience.
our producer's dream. He's John Mayer's
huge
biggest
John
fan.
Mayer fan.
Oh, okay. And we're buddies. I'll tell him.
Yeah.
Tell him I say hi.
Yeah. Honestly, he's gonna turn bright red. Probably call everyone he knows about this moment.
No, but I think Continuum is just one of the best albums of all time in general. So to experience that, like you said, growing up, and
he
you're
also
just
walked out with no shirt on, so he knew what he was doing. All the girls.
There's a lot of reasons why I remember that show. One of them is he did come out. He did come out topless.
I know. And you're just like crying on this like blanket with your friends, just slow dancing in a burning room. I mean, it was the best.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, right before you walked in, because Noah is such a big fan of John Mayer, we did talk about how we saw John Mayer recently commented on one of your posts, complimenting your songwriting, but you've worked with so many great artists, and I'm sure so many people have complimented your songwriting. What does that mean to you, like when someone that you grew up going to shows to says something like that to you?
I mean, it's obviously just like the highest compliment. It's so weird to wrap my brain around, that was so kind of him to say, but like even like over the years, my friendship with like Sheryl Crow, like that still doesn't get old to me.
Yeah, incredible.
It's just so influential and still is. And I just remember it was during COVID. She wanted me to jump on a song of hers, and she was like, "It's going to be you, me, and Stevie." And I was like, "Stevie Nicks?" Like, okay, first name basis, love, like you're an icon.
Yeah.
I just felt,
bragging.
I know, yeah. But it's like she's Cheryl, so like she's just worked with everybody and is buddies with everyone. It's just, I feel like, not to be like falsely modest, just sometimes I feel like imposter syndrome, like someone drugged all these people into thinking that I'm talented.
You are
just like
so
my heroes.
Incredibly talented.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean, like those, women that we all grew up listening to, and you're like you said, icons. You're like, holy shit, like you're working with them.
I know.
It really is.
If it ever starts to get old, like you're obviously an asshole, but I'm just like, hang it up. Like there's people waiting in line that are like way more humble and excited than you. So I did like a show a few weeks ago or months ago, I guess now, but it was like Willie Nelson's picnic, and it was like Willie Nelson, myself, Robert Plant, Alison Krauss, and like Bob Dylan on the lineup, and Mavis Staples. And I was just like, I took a photo of the lineup, and I was like, I wish I could frame this photo. Just like my name with all of these legends. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your new EP is out, which is super exciting. Obviously, fans love when new music is coming out. But the EP feels very personal. Very, you're telling your story. What was it like kind of putting together this group of songs, and why did you want to put them all out like as 5 together?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I feel like I'm an album-based artist for the most part, but with EPs, what's nice about them is that you can put them out quicker than an album while you're still in the emotional headspace of what the songs were written about. So I'm going through, I got divorced a few months ago, or I don't know what month we're in, actually.
You're like, what year is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But it's, I just trying to like document everything and writing my way through this pit of sadness and like finding the light again. And I just wanted to get it out. I didn't want to wait another 9 months to, let's do like the vinyl pressing and get all the merch and like get the tour routed. I was like, I'm already on tour, so it's like now or never. And I'm still writing. I think I have like a few more songs that I need just for this full record to be done, but it's very close. But in the meantime, this felt like intermission. The EP felt like a good appetizer.
It must be nice also too, because when you're writing about your own experiences and your own life, when you kind of have to sit on that for a long time, it's personal moments to you, right? It's like it inhibits you to like have to hold on to those moments, because you're like, now I have to promote these songs, and it's like a year and a half later,
and I've
like here I go talking about it again. Yeah, exactly.
And like you're kind of putting yourself through it again.
Yeah, so that's nice
opening
too.
the
It's got to
wound.
be nice to be like, okay, well, we're gonna close that chapter personally, and I'm gonna put my music out, and then you can kind of like move on from it.
Yeah, and like people can listen to these songs in real time with me as I'm still like processing everything. So it's been special. It's only been out for like a month, but
that's so
being
nice.
able to be on tour like while this has been out has been really fun, just because that never happens. It's usually like album then tour, and you don't put the cart before the horse. But for this, I don't know, it's cool to see people like discover these songs and then come to the show that night and be like, oh my god, I hope she plays this. And it's given me like energy too, because it's just been the weirdest year, and nothing like gives me more of that feeling than having new music out or writing a new song.
Right. Do you have a favorite
on the EP? I mean, it changes day to day or like show to show, but I love Push Me Over. That's like the most recent one that I added at the last second, and I wrote it with Muna, who I'm a giant fan of, and it's just like it was like an injection of fun into the project, because there's obviously some like heavier moments going on addressing what I've gone through, but Push Me Over and Cut just felt like really cathartic releases, and it's just like about sex, so can't go wrong.
Right, exactly.
So that's gonna be great.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah. You have been touring, which is always so fun. But what is kind of that in between period been like? Because you had the whole tour ready to go, RSVP, COVID, the whole thing. So now this is kind of like getting back to that, right?
Yeah, it was like a redo tour in all of the senses of the word. And I also just wanted to tour because it had been 2 years and I didn't have a full album or project ready yet, but I was like, I just want to see people. And so we've just been doing sort of this underplay, like warm-up tour in these random cities and markets, and they're like theaters, and it just feels intimate and kind of like reminding me why I love this. And yeah, and so it's been great to sort of go to LA in between these trips and write and sort of like hone in on the record, but be able to tour as well. So I get to exercise both sides of my brain in that way, like the creative and also like the working one.
Yeah. And the track list is changing every show, right? Because you're having fans like kind of say what songs they want to hear.
Yeah, so we kind of asked before the tour kicked off, fans, like, what would your dream set list be? It keeps us as the band on our toes, because if you've been touring for, I've been touring since I was 11, so it's been like decades now. You get into these like autopilot modes no matter what you're doing, and I just wanted to like scare myself, and I'm such a control freak that it really does put me like in my paces to have someone else in control of the set list. But it's nice because I just feel like every show is different. If you come to one show in another city and then go to the next one, you're not getting the same thing.
Yeah, and so, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. And pulling out like deep cuts that we haven't played in years is fun.
Have you kind of let go? You said you're a control freak. Have you kind of let that go a little bit more? Or do you feel like it still creeps up where you're like, I want to do this instead, but you just let it happen?
I mean, it creeps up for sure, just because I think it's like, it's so stupid because none of us are in control. It's an illusion. I have to like remind myself of that. But yeah, it's definitely like a safety thing. Like where for me, because I've been doing this since I was a child, I don't feel safe if I'm not in control of the environment. And then I've just had to like unlearn and deconstruct that in my later years of like why that is. But with a show, my favorite moments now are the fuck ups. Like when someone plays like a terrible chord, that's actually what makes me laugh the hardest, is like one of the band fucks up. Because I will definitely always have one. Like I forget my words all the time. I have had some wardrobe malfunctions. I haven't like eaten shit yet, like fallen, but it's gonna happen. It's coming.
And as an audience member, it's like makes it all real.
Yeah.
Like watching it. It's like, because we can't relate to your talent, but we can relate to the fuck up part of it.
Right, yeah. I had to start a song over the other night because I was just so like I can't even remember what went wrong, but 5 years ago, I would have cried because that happened after the show. And now I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, it's so
It's
fun.
kind of the best way to be.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when you're watching a like sketch comedy or something and they break and they laugh. Yeah. And like that's always the funniest moment to us, and we laugh. But they're technically like not doing their job right.
Yeah.
Right. That's so true.
But it's like it's you can laugh about it, but and you have laughed about it. You've been you're on social media, you're on TikTok. You made a lot of jokes about that wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Will that the denim skirt ever leave the closet again, or is that just now like a relic?
It's a relic. It's still in there. And
maybe it should be framed.
I want to frame it. Like it needs to be a long enough glass frame for it. But the slit is so high. I honestly, I have to say this in every interview, but like I was wearing underwear.
Yes.
It was nude underwear.
We have all seen that you were wearing underwear.
Yeah. But I just don't own any like colored underwear, I guess. I have like black or nude. I went with nude for some idiotic reason because I was like, sure. And then
I don't know what it is though. There is something about, I will just say, getting older where you notice like you just start buying more neutral color underwear
because they're boring.
It also matches everything though. Like
like that's what
you
you're
want
worried
to
about.
wear.
You can't see things that are
you
see-through.
can't see it. Yeah.
I thought about it's funny you mentioned that because I actually the thought opening my underwear drawer the other day because I bought new underwear and I was putting it all in and I was like, gosh, this is getting kind of boring now. Like I used to like walk into Victoria's Secret and be like hot pink underwear.
Come on.
I mean, nude and black.
I'm not gonna lie, right now I know specifically which one I'm wearing because when I put it on this morning, it's like a neon blue.
Yeah.
Good for you.
No, but I put it on this morning and I was like, this is my least favorite pair. I'm gonna wear this one today.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you feel off.
Like I was like, I'm not like, you know those days where you want to pick a good pair of underwear, good thong. Today wasn't those days for me. I was like, I'm going with the neon blue. I want this one out of the rotation.
Yep, exactly.
If you open my underwear drawer at home, it's just like, this is just the beige clean girl aesthetic in an underwear drawer.
Yeah.
It's so boring. I need to like go spice things up, I guess.
Yeah,
sometimes a little, red, a little pink, but the neutrals,
it's just
match everything.
It's void of personality.
Exactly. Yep. Well, and it's just more practical.
Right. Truly.
It's just more practical.
We're functional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Social media for you is there's been some ups, some downs, but you stay posting, you're connected to your fans, and you're connected to, your voice and using your voice for what you believe in. How do you feel like social media has kind of changed for you? I guess maybe these last few years even.
Yeah. I mean, it took me like a few years to really get TikTok. Like I was just a passive follower of it. Like, and I still am kind of, I enjoy watching it more than making them. But now I don't even watch television anymore. I just get on my phone and scroll for hours. It's probably not great. But I think I'm a little bit more lighthearted than I was a few years ago. Maybe that's just age or motherhood. But I'm just like, I still care about things, of course, but using these like silly apps as my way of connecting with people or like share, I performed at the DNC last week or the week before in Chicago. I was like, I still show up for things that I care about and like matter to me and matter to like in the place that I live, like it affects me emotionally. So I have my son who's 4. So it's like I show up in those ways. I wouldn't say like tweeting is a big thing on my list. I don't even even use my Twitter. I haven't opened it in like 3 years. Yeah. I've deleted it off my phone because I've had too many scuffles on it. Although I sometimes miss
That's what Twitter's made for,
I know. I sometimes miss it though. Where I'm just like, it's just the written word.
I know. We used to be on it
more often on Twitter.
We used to be on it so much. And now, like, anytime we do pop in and fire something off, and then you like see what happens after, and you're like, all right, that's why I don't. Yeah, that's why I don't come on here.
It's like to pop in just for fun, and then you realize that maybe this isn't so fun.
You're like, oh,
yeah. It's also like I popped in on it the other day, and I was just like, just curiosity, and I immediately regretted it. But I was like, it's like the Wild West on there.
Oh, really yes.
There's no regulations.
No, there's
like, no. It is wild.
It's nothing.
I saw, this is so TMI, sorry, but I was like, I scrolled for a second and then it was like a burner account. So I was like, I don't even know my own login for Twitter, but I was just like curious. I think I was wanting to look at like the trending stuff for House of the Dragon.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Like, what are the people saying? I just finished the episode and I want to see what people are saying.
I want to see the memes.
Yeah. That's the way to use Twitter. Like, what are they saying about this reality TV show?
Yeah, I know. But then I like came across this video of like a man like having sex with a car tailpipe, and I was like, that's enough.
Yeah, right. It's just you never know when extremely graphic videos are going to show up on Twitter. It's
and any reply, any like tweet you click and look at the replies.
It could be
you
in
can't
there.
do that in public.
Oh,
yeah, you can't do that in public.
Yeah,
no,
I'm scarred.
But I think kind of what you were saying kind of matches what you were saying about at a show when you fuck up and you're like afterwards you're like, it is what it is. Like now when you're using apps and you're like, I'm using it more for fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it probably should be there for. Yeah, we can like connect with one another and share information. But I mean, I don't take myself as seriously as I did years ago. But a lot of my life has changed because of my stances and like vocalness on subjects, and I feel like it's changed for the better. I mean, it wasn't like an easy, beautiful route to take, but I do feel like even just a year ago, the space I was in, emotionally, just how much can change in a year.
Yeah. And feeling like yourself is the most important, like being authentic to yourself.
Yeah. And I think that, the weirdest thing about time and change is that in relationships whether it's like a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend, it's like when you get to authentically be yourself as you are right in this moment and not a version of you 5 years ago, that chafes people sometimes because they fell in love with or got to know this part of you, this version. And if they can't like evolve with you, or you just grow apart, it's like, I mean, you take it personally, but I've just learned like I would be doing myself a disservice if I kept trying to be that Maren from 5 years ago. It's just, I'm not her.
Totally. And
everything's changed about me.
And those people that don't grow with you and, kind of part ways, like, it's just, there's only more people that come in who resonate with Maren now, you know, like, so it's cliche, one door opens, one door closes, another opens. But you say, like, even with that, when the people who maybe they related to that 5 years ago, you've changed, they haven't. Well, there's plenty of people who have changed and can
relate to where you are now.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
I think you're right. It's cleansing in that way. And I don't want to feel like I'm putting something on or like playing a caricaturized version of myself. I need to drink this. So it's like the people that have stayed with me, like my best friends, my family, obviously, my son, but like also my fans, that have seen me through like the last 8-9 years of, my first single with my church and, the middle and then like the Bones and joining the Highwomen and where I am now. It's like, it is super meaningful to me because I have thrown everything at them and every type of genre. And it's fun because I have never, most of us aren't one thing. So I think
you're not going to be the same person that you were 8-9 years ago. Like that's
I would hope not.
Right. That's just life. Like, and if you are, then you're not changing and growing.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back. That girl was like anxious as hell, like hair falling out, like just couldn't like cope with the stardom rise so quickly. And like obviously there are like amazing things about that chapter, but I don't think I processed any of it because it was just all happening at once. Now I like say no to a lot of things because I have to have recharge days and weeks, and like, when you're first starting out, you just feel like you have to say yes to everything because you feel like you're gonna miss something or it's not gonna like explode the way you need it to. But for me now, it's kind of like, I know it's so cliche, but the power of no and giving yourself download time allows me to enjoy those highs so much easier and not be like so peak valleyed.
Totally
appreciate those phases.
In this EP, you mentioned you talk about sex. You also talk about you went through a divorce. Are you dating now?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I've never really dated is the thing. Like I've been in 2 long, like, monogamous relationships with men, and I never really had this like dating phase because I was just always working. And so for me, I guess I've ended up with long relationships of people that I've like worked with or had proximity to. Dating for the first time like in your 30s is wild, and Raya is wild.
You're on Raya?
Yeah.
How's that?
It's interesting. I mean, like I've had like some good experiences from it. Luckily nothing like crazy, traumatizing, but I think it's just exhausting. Just, I hate first dates. I usually will just go like grab a drink with somebody because I don't want to be stuck for like 2 hours or 3 hours.
You need like an escape just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll come grab a drink. I have dinner plans.
Yeah, I have dinner with my friend after.
I always have an out, whether it's fake or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's interesting, and you learn more about yourself for sure because you're showing them the like best version of you and like the highlights, and it's like it's a job interview.
Yeah. So. Have you seen anybody on Raya where you're like, what are they doing on here?
Yeah, but it makes me feel better about being on there.
Not even like in a just more like a shocking way, like,
Yeah, no, for
that's
sure.
fair.
Yeah.
I've seen like friends on there, and it's so weird because it's like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
X.
Yep, right, exactly.
Not matching with you.
Not
No.
matched, but I see what you're doing. I see
Game
what you're
recognizes
doing.
game.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
No, I've seen a few like people on there that are so wildly famous, and
Right.
so I'm like, it just makes me feel better about
Right,
being
right,
on
right.
there because it's just so exposed and vulnerable to just like have to pick your best photos and like
Right.
have a
I
cute
mean, it is still a
line.
dating app, so it's
Yeah.
like, wow, they're on a dating app.
I know. Yeah.
So-
I really respect it. It makes
Yeah.
me feel so good. But no, I think like nothing serious. Just, it's fun to like flirt and have a crush.
Totally.
Right.
What else do you have coming up? We just saw that you jumped on Highway Queen with Mount Joy.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We love Mount Joy. We just saw them at Red Rocks.
Yeah, we were just
the
at Red
beginning of
Rocks.
Oh my God, that was
August. It
amazing.
was amazing.
That's like
They're-
the venue to probably see them at.
Oh,
too.
it is. It
Yeah.
totally is. They are awesome. So I loved hearing you on that song. How did you connect with them?
They just reached out
Yeah.
and they wanted to do a different version of that song, and I had already loved it.
Yeah.
So I was on the road, so I couldn't just go find a studio in the middle of wherever the hell we were. So I just did it in my dressing room. Like my drummer, Christian, recorded my vocal, and I mean, it happened pretty quick. It was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Just recording in a
Yeah.
dressing room.
I know.
Just like send over a file. Here it is.
That
I
is
know.
amazing.
It was like a casino dressing room too. I was just like, this is so random, but I hope that they add that to the liner notes if there are any. Like recorded at the Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah.
They probably felt so honored that you took the time in your dressing room to send that over.
Absolutely.
I kind of just like don't overthink anything. If I'm like a fan, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Right.
I'm hoping I can like pop out to one of the shows coming up because they're playing in Nashville. That's where I live, but they're doing MSG too. I was like,
in a
holy
few
shit.
weeks. Yeah.
Are y'all going?
Which is really cool. Sadly, we will not be there. I'll be on my honeymoon, which is exciting.
That's not sad.
yeah,
I know. I'm like, I'm sad I'll be there. I won't be there, but
not really.
But
Right.
it's
okay. Just
my
saw them.
fiance is also a massive fan, so I have seen them many a time.
Sure.
Now,
Yeah.
now, which is great. Their shows are a a lot of fun. But
Where's your honeymoon?
South Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What part?
Yes, we're doing Cape Town, Safari.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and then we're ending in the Seychelles.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's
yeah.
gonna be gorgeous.
Yes,
insane.
So,
Yeah.
very excited for that, which is all coming up very soon. But
I'm sure
it's-
Mount Joy will understand.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
They're gonna
They were
see
like,
it.
oh, you guys aren't coming. I was like, no.
They've been on our show twice in the past couple months.
Like
so,
Really?
recently, we've been doing some stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan, and Matt and Sam are both from the Philly area. So like
Yeah.
we've connected over that, and they joked, they were like, you guys, you're not going to change your like wedding date, so you
Yeah,
can
what the hell?
make sure you can come. I was like,
Kinda
so
fucked
true.
up.
Probably should have.
Choices.
Yeah.
Probably should have done that, but no, it's so cool to see because there's been so many amazing collaborations that you have been a part of that are just like awesome ones, and they just sometimes it's like, oh, you wouldn't even really think about it. I guess at the time it was like the middle, you wouldn't think like maybe more dance vibe for you.
Yeah.
But it worked like so beautifully.
Thank you.
So
I mean, that was definitely the game changer for my career at the time. It was just like I was in country on country radio doing, I think maybe at that point I had like won a Grammy for like a country category, but just having influences of all kinds on even my first record, it didn't feel like a giant leap to do the middle, but I didn't realize what a different game pop music was. And obviously it's like a worldwide genre. So I'm like on tour at the time with like Niall Horan, and we're in South America. And I think in like Buenos Aires or something, in a cab, I like hear the middle come on, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like wide reaching. And
the middle's like is still everywhere all the time,
it's one of those like evergreen like pop songs for sure. But no, it's even when I play it live, still I keep it in the set list, and people are just like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah.
But kind of one of those once in a lifetime songs that you get, and I didn't write it, but I was like, I don't care, like I need to figure out how to be on this song. Because there were a lot of people that were auditioning to be a part of it, and I guess Zed just heard my demo and was like, she sounds the most like Sarah Aarons, who wrote the song. So, and Sarah and I have like written so many songs together now, and we're like vocal twins almost. Like our timbres are similar, alto, smoky. But
That's so nice just to be able to connect on that level though, you know, to be like, she understands it, she gets it.
Yeah.
And such an interesting little tidbit for people who don't know that they like, you know, Zed is like auditioning people almost to like be on the song.
I didn't know if that was just like a normal thing for pop because I had no context, but I didn't really understand until after the song had come out that like 12 or 13 other people like sent in demos for it. And like big names too. So the fact that he heard my demo and was like not looking for like some superstar, just who was the best vocal for the song. Like I have a ton of respect for him for doing that because it changed my life in a lot of ways. But it was also just like, I like that he stuck by his guns and tried to find something that truly met the song and not like just had a huge name on it.
Yeah, totally agreed. Well, it's been a fun journey because like you said, you have a mix of different genres where it's not just one thing. And it's not just, you know, this genre, that pop music. I think your music, so many people can relate to your songwriting and whatever genre that falls into, I think is really fun and exciting to listen to.
Thank
you know?
you.
So
that's very sweet.
And we love the new EP. Everyone can go listen to it. And you have shows and all these amazing things coming. So
I have a couple more weeks of this tour, and then I have to finish this album, and then I'll be doing, I'm sure,
any
some more
teaser
stuff.
time for a new album dates?
I'm hoping, you know, depending on just getting like a last few chapters like locked in for the story of this. I think it would be amazing if it was like springtime. But I wish I could give something more permanent, but I have to write the fucking thing first. So like, the EP,
I actually have to like
the
make the songs
intermission
first.
EP will suffice for now.
Yes, everybody enjoy
It's
the
a perfect
EP.
way everybody can enjoy the EP and don't get greedy.
Right.
I just have to like live a little bit more too. I was like, dating right now is like great and it's fun, but it's just, I mean, I feel bad saying this, but it's just giving me like fodder for songwriting. Like, I was like, sorry to like be using you in some way.
Inspiration.
Yeah, going on dates is like, oh, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah, it's helping me like get into the POV. It's like an actor preparing. It's like, I'm going
method acting.
Yeah, I was like bad date, good date, whatever in between.
God.
I was like, it's really fueling.
You're like, sorry, I got to mix it up a little bit because I need material.
It's time for another album.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming
so
in, Maren.
much.
Oh my God, I'm such a fan of y'all's. So thank you for.
thank you
it's
so
weird to be in here.
Oh no, I mean this is it's just our humble studio.
I love it. It's so cozy.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Maren.
Yeah, thanks, guys.